All right. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. I pray that you all are well and in the best of health and spirits. It is your sister, Denise Renee Muhammad, along with my brother, my friend, my co host, Brother Sean Ali. And we are coming on today for another episode of the Health and Wellness Power Hour. The Health and Wellness Power Hour. So as you all come in, go ahead and share the video. Share the video. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. And this is going to be an awesome, awesome show today.
Mm.
Our topic is being healthy is a lifestyle. And we have a very special guest that we're going to bring on, our very first guest on the Health and Wellness Power Hour. So, how are you today, Brother Sean?
All is well. All is well. No complaints at all. Yeah,
Yes, sir. That's right.
yeah.
Alive and well. All right.
Alive.
Well, I
And
am
I'm
going
alive and diffused. I just want
to
everybody to,
diffuse it.
I'm alive and diffused. I had to, we didn't
Yes,
start. We did not start this program until I had this diffuser going because I had to set
that's
my
right.
mood. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Mine is going behind me.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, now let's
Yeah.
roll.
All right, let's go. Let's go. So, we have a very special guest today with us, and I'm going to read her bio. Dr. Eminence Alameen Muhammad, born in West Hampton, Long Island, New York, is a student minister residing in Springfield, Ohio. She is a dedicated wife, mother, grandmother. Dr. Eminence's educational background is as follows: a bachelor in holistic health sciences, a master in natural medicine, a doctorate and PhD in natural medicine. Dr. Eminence is a philanthropist, licensed massage therapist, Reiki master, master herbalist, holistic culinary artist, and author. She founded the Eminence School of Healing, where she teaches Reiki, meditation, herbology, aromatherapy, and her properly eating to live course based on the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And she has authored several a 5-book collection of recipe books featuring dishes centered around the organic navy bean. Her community outreach and ministry initiative, Proverbs 31 Woman, aims to inspire women to embrace their strength, honor, and faithfulness to God. Dr. Eminence's work continues to empower and heal, making a lasting impact on many lives. All right, and our sister, her line dropped, so we're gonna keep the show going until she comes back on. Um,
Hmm.
but our topic today is
That's an
being
awesome
healthy.
resume, though. I gotta tell you that.
That
That's
is powerful resume. That is a powerful resume.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I'm sorry.
and
Go ahead. I had to just say
yes,
that real quick because yeah.
and it's right in line with, our show and what we discuss on a weekly basis and what we've been discussing throughout the years. And our topic today, being healthy is a lifestyle. And I noticed one of her hashtags is healthy living with Dr. Eminence. So yes,
Mm,
I can't wait for her to come back on so we can expound on that. But until she does,
mm.
we're gonna keep it moving, keep it moving.
Oh well, we
So,
both been on her show, so on her
right.
platform, individually, you know, and
Yes.
that was like yeah, I didn't know her history though, as far as her resume and um in the totality of it as you was reading it. I mean,
Right.
I'm already, it's easy for me to be impressed by black people, not just
Mm.
because of us being in America, just black people, no matter where they're from, because the messenger teaches us that we create new things every day. So it's not miraculous to see something new being created every day. With if a white person do it, then he's like, but when we do it, it's like breathing. So I'm easily impressed by us, man. When we shoot, because this is life is a choice. Like the topic is, lifestyle is a choice. These are the things
Sure.
that you choose to do or not do. You know what I mean? So when we're looking at someone that's choosing to be of service, that's a different
Mm,
mindset than somebody that's looking to be served. Right? Because
right.
that's the majority of us is looking, nobody wants to be the servant. You know what I mean? Like, because what you think, it comes with that role, hardship, sacrifice. But you can be of service, you can be a servant to our people, and it not be hardship, and it not drain you. You know what I mean? And it not take away from you. It empowers you, in fact. And our sister is one of those types where, because that resume, you would think, this is an old. She's younger than
And
us.
she's younger than both of us.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. So you would think
Like,
that
where
that
have
that
you
would be a
been?
lot. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
she hit the ground running at an early
Ex-
age. It seems that's
ex-
why I really, there she is, want to get her
that's
back.
yeah.
All right. All right. Can you hear us, sister? Okay, I think she's frozen. I'll take it off until.
Okay. Well, but yeah, but I mean, to, like I said, to what it can do to somebody, and especially when we're dealing, because all three of us are, followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So it's like
Right.
when we look at specifically within our community, the years of service look like it's wearing on us. And I'm saying us because I'm not separating myself from any of my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? But you would look at us 10, 15, 20, 30 years in this, we're supposed to be more alive than we were 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago when we started.
It's,
When you,
right.
and when she was backstage before the show, like I said, somebody with that type of resume, but not just has that spirit, but the physical appearance. Like, it's not draining. It doesn't appear to be. And I'm not saying there is no hardship, because of course it is. But these are the type of
Right.
examples that we need in our to be upheld.
Exactly. Exactly. Definitely applying, being our own best customer, being
It,
our own
exactly,
best
exactly,
client.
exactly.
Yes. So our sister is back on, Sister Dr. Eminence. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. I think she's getting her audio together.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. But
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
yes, we can now. Yes, ma'am. Think it's. Can you hear me?
I
Wow.
know you came in, Doc, and you went back out, man. I know this, see, and we over here bigging you up. We like pushing you out.
Right. Look, and right before the show started, my power went out for like a few minutes, and then hers just went out. So yeah, but we're gonna get this done.
Hmm, hmm,
Can you
hmm.
hear me now?
Does she look like is she frozen on there?
Yeah, she's frozen again. Let me just remove it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, for those
All right.
tuning in, no worries. Sometimes it a little technical different. We're dealing with a people's technology that's not only new on the planet, but has never had an original idea. They've only
Right.
mimicked and stolen other people's ideas. So we know that all of these inventions are one of ours, and they whitewashed it and taken it. So we are going to have technical difficulties when we're dealing with their
Right.
platforms. Just off, of, we keeping it real. So this is Black excellence is one of the where we eventually will create our own form of communication, but we never used this is basic communication. We didn't we could
Right.
telepathy and all of those other telepathic type using your mind to communicate. That's how we project. We could project images
Ex-
to each other just like we did. That's
Right.
where they got the cell phone from. The face, where you think FaceTime come from?
Exactly.
Them white people went in one of them
Yes.
old temples
Thank
and
you all for
seen one of
tuning
them
in.
scrolls. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Mm,
Yes. All right. Let me see.
hmm hmm
But yes. Okay. Can you hear me, sis? No, she still froze.
Yeah, well, whenever she can jump back on, just
All
just
right.
yeah, bring her back. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, we'll bring her back in.
yeah.
But yes,
But
I
see,
was
it
one of the things that
uh-huh.
I wanted to bring up is, most people that I've met, like yourself and myself, that facilitate healing, have often went through something and sharing it, the experiences, and trying to live that example to help others heal or live a better quality of life. So that's something that I
Mhm.
wanted to bring up to see what led her into her path, because we all have a reason why we're doing this, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mine. I mean, yeah. I'm with you.
'Cause you
Yeah,
shared
yeah.
your
Yeah,
story.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But this and don't y'all forget that these are businesses. We are
Right.
also business people, so do business with
Exactly.
us, man. You don't have to be sick to come to a healthcare. I mean, there's other. We can always be healthy. Because every day there's cells that die and need to be replaced. Skin cells, blood cells, it's cells throughout our bodies that die on a daily basis. And our body has that job of reproducing them, right? To
Right.
keep that count. Now, when we get into the things like senescence, where the cell that it can no longer replace it. So you become stuck with that cell. Now
Mm.
you see, this is what they call aging because you're stuck with that cell. Your body is in a state of cellular senescence and it can't reproduce that cell because of our lifestyle. It's something we are doing or not doing that's interfering with that process. So in Doc doesn't have an allopathic approach. Like I haven't seen her when she posts or when she shares it come from an allopathic perspective where our other colleagues and peers they have that who have that cross training, that allopathic nature always pops up. So when COVID comes and other things comes, those allopathic measures always they always got, because that's their training, that's their education. And the messenger speaks about that and how to eat to live, that doctors can't help. That's how they get paid. They went to school, they trained
Right.
for this. That's how they, so it's not saying that they're wrong or throwing blame at them. That's just what they do. So, and that's based on what they were taught. But I'm just saying Doc doesn't Dr. Eminence, she shared when I was on her show that her she started in the allopathic, but
Right.
she's into holistic. She's not trying
Hmm.
to crossbreed, you know what I mean? And
Right.
some
Cross
healthcare
pollinate.
practitioners do that. Right. They will try to
Yes.
melt that. Nah, man, no. It's either you're either holistic or you're not. I mean,
Right.
yeah. They're not like us.
I like that. No, they're not.
But the population will confuse that, and they will go to an allopathic doctor seeking holistic solutions. So they would think that their MD can get talk about sea moss or moringa or fasting or pray. No, you don't find that there. But it's so convoluted now, and so many doctors with the allopathic background coming into whole, they still making that mingle, that is just confusing the population. And a lot of
Right.
people will get stuck, will need help and get stuck because we don't know who to go to. You know,
Right.
like I don't who. So and Dr. Eminence is, like I said, I mean, you know, we did, this is our first guest, so I
Right. Yes.
mean, for a reason, not just yeah, this is our first guest.
Right.
So
And
for us
we
to share
are.
the stage, we're sharing
Yeah.
the stage with a like-minded individual.
Exactly. And that's what
Yeah,
we're
that's
taught. Like minds
yes,
come together and work together.
yes,
That's unity. It's beautiful.
yes. But
Yes, sir.
other medical practitioners, I mean, we don't necessarily, we can like them and agree with some of their things, but not to the point where we're trying to invite them to our platform and have that cross link, because we're holistic over here.
Right.
We're not throwing that mix in here. So you never get an allopathic answer from us. You always get a holistic solution from us because that's what we've always done in our history. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah,
But
and I
that's
love the fact that she has some books on aromatherapy,
the
like she's done
mhm, mhm,
aromatherapy
mhm, mhm,
classes. So
mhm,
it's like
mhm.
we on the same frequency.
Yep. And me and her got the licensed massage therapist, and I'm
Right.
I'm I'm a Reiki master. So yeah, man, it's like
And I
that's what
have
I'm saying.
level
Like,
one Reiki.
see, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Together, it's like, yeah, as far as our platform and our audience, and what we try to present, to you
Right.
guys. Yeah. It's like, because this is all when it comes to health and wellness, just like with how eating, you're either eating to live or you're not. There's no halfways. So what you do is either helping you live or it's taken away from your life. There is no half. It's no
Right.
middle ground to this.
Exactly.
And what can take you out, they got a TV show, A Thousand Ways to Die, man. Like, you got to be careful because it's a lot of ways that you could, on not on purpose, take yourself out when you thought you were helping yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so and that's the nature of our show. That's just the nature of our show.
Yeah. Hold it. She's back. Let me see.
Okay, yeah, yes, ma'am.
All right. Sister Doctor, can you hear me?
That was a sigh. That was
Yes,
that sigh.
ma'am.
Yes.
Assalamu
Salam alaikum.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Walaikum
assalam.
salam. Glad you were able to come back on with us. Yes, ma'am. All right. So let's get into our topic. Um, and I have a question for you. You know, I was saying earlier, most people that I've met or read about, they that facilitate healing most times they're their own first client, their own first patient. So, what led you to the path of holistic health? After getting your doctorate degree in conventional medicine, what led you to holistic health and wellness?
Oh man, we froze.
Can you
I
hear
was
me?
waiting on the answer too.
Yeah,
I think she got
I
froze
think
again, y'all.
me too.
I was waiting on it because
Yes.
I wasn't even looking at the
Uh,
screen. I was into
I
the
didn't hear.
question. Oh, okay, she's back. Here we go. Here we go.
all right. Were you able to hear my
Okay,
question?
so what was the question again, beloved? My apologies. No,
Yes, I
ma'am.
was saying,
No,
most of us
ma'am.
that are
I
in
couldn't hear the
this,
question.
yes, ma'am, most of us that are in this space of holistic health and facilitating healing of others, something led us to this path. So, what led you, because you have your doctorate degree in conventional medicine, so what led you to the holistic wellness path?
So were you asking me what led me to pursue the holistic field? Because I didn't hear the
Yes,
question. I'm sorry.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Okay. Um, so first I would like to apologize for my service being so horrible. I don't know what's going on. I lost power, and then now I'm waiting for, I guess, the internet to reboot so it can work clearly. But I'm gonna try and make out what you said. I know it was a beautiful question. So the only part I heard was what led you to the holistic field. So what led me to the holistic field was because when I was working in the medical field, I truly began to be a little disheartened and just always sad when I was at work and it was time to administer medications to patients, and when it was just carrying out my day-to-day task, checking on my patients and making my rounds and going to speak with family members. And then I started to notice that uh, the diet of the sick individuals were
Mm,
not even conducive to improving their health. So it was almost like most of these healthcare facilities are keeping them alive and keeping them healthy enough just so that they can keep on making money off of these sick people, because
Right.
there's no way that a person can live in a facility that is supposed to be making them well, like a rehabilitation facility, and their health is deteriorating, and there's no justification because they're getting physical therapy, there's nutritionists working there, there's
hmm
nurses, there's a
hmm
doctor,
hmm
yet the patients are declining as far as their health. So when I started to open my eyes around,
Right.
in fact, there's nothing more rewarding than going to college and graduating and getting a job in that field. And then you start to earn your way and you start to make
Right.
money in my career, making an impact in a positive way. And how does my career affect other people? Because a lot of times people just do stuff for status, they just choose a career because they want to be looked at in a certain way. They want to be looked at in a certain way. They want people to respect them. They want people to see them as to, value them based on what they encounter, but in the mirror at yourself every day. Are you truly happy with what it is that you do and what you represent?
Right.
Now, for me, I no longer was satisfied with working in that field and working in facilities where I was a part of the problem, giving the family false hope. If that person made it inside of this rehabilitation center, chances are they're going to die. And I know that
Mm.
sounds crazy, but it's the reality. Most of these facilities that are long stays, like assisted living and long-term rehabilitation, there's no expectations for the patient to actually get better. It becomes
Right.
sort of like a college dorm room, and then when the person gets really bad, they send them to hospice. But to be honest, there's really no expectation for this patient to make it out of these facilities. So
Mm.
that
Right.
is what led me to the holistic world. By seeing so much death that could have been prevented,
Mm.
by observing families who don't really care about their loved ones. They'll come in and complain and say, how long has it been since my mom had a bath? How long has it been since my dad got shaved? They'll state the obvious, but they don't ask questions like, what did my mom eat for lunch? What did my dad eat for dinner? Is my dad up and walking? Can I help take care of my dad? Because ultimately, if there was more love given to our people, they wouldn't be so sick.
Mm.
And that's
Right.
Mhm.
another thing. When you're in the medical world, you can't really give of your love and energy freely because there's so many guidelines, there's so many laws that prevent you from saying certain
Mm. Mhm.
phrases or giving
Mhm.
certain advice.
Mhm.
You might see somebody
Right.
that could heal you, that could heal you. Scriptures or some Quranic scriptures, like you're prevented from doing
Mhm.
anything that is going to go against that contract that you signed when you became an employee at that facility. So when you don't have the control to be a savior, then you're in the wrong place. And that's another thing when you're in the
Mm.
medical world, you have to do that in
Yes.
your own life. So I don't
Mm.
want to discourage anybody watching this
Mm.
that is working in the medical field or working in hospitals or working anywhere where there's a set criteria that existed before they became an employee. But what I am going to say is corruption in the healthcare field, because it's really a corruption that we take part of, we have to pay that back. We
Mm.
have to repent for that. So I just got to that point at an earlier state in my life than some do. I can't do this anymore. And if I
Right.
know she's watching, she's a doctor's nurses. Her name is Denise Davis. She was the first person to give me a job when I got out of school and I was entering into
Really.
nursing. She's the first person that gave me a job. She was the directors of nurses, and I was this young girl, and she told me constantly, "You are holistic. You don't belong here." Because everything I always said facility that I was working at where she was the director. And so she
Hmm.
was really my motivation and my inspiration. Now, I know I'm answering this question really long, but I have
That's
to give
fine.
credit
Go
where
ahead.
credit is due.
Yes, ma'am.
This woman,
Absolutely.
yes, ma'am, I was in my early 20s, and this woman, and so she's an older lady. She has daughters around my age, but she always instilled positive and motivational dialogue inside of me. She never made me feel like she was not supportive of what I felt my vision and my purpose was. So as I would come to work every day and I'm working, sometimes she'd have me working doubles. And for all of you that are nurses, you'll know that like for a double is illegal. So I'm not putting her on the spot, but this is what we have to do because when you work in these facilities, if somebody doesn't come to work, you stay. So there was like a little time gaps where you clock out and you get a little bit of rest. And I'm telling you, it's not enough rest. There was times where somebody would come in and be like tapping me where I'm sleep. I mean, I'm knocked out and it's like I'm on a table sleep. I don't even know how I got there. And
Right.
so, because you've been up for like 20 something hours. And so you take that little 2 hour nap. Let me one day, she said, working night shift is really not for you. I wish people would show up for work. I said, me too. And she said, but none of that'll really matter when you become a holistic doctor because you won't be working that night. You'll be just working probably 9 to 5 or whatever time you want. So she used to just,
Right. She kept planting the seed.
yes, ma'am.
Beautiful.
She used every moment to remind me of what it
Mm.
was that I should always being a supportive woman that was older than me because I see a climate right now where a lot of young women think that older women are envious
Mm.
of them, are jealous of them, are, competing with them. And I just would like to implore to any young woman watching this the wisdom that some of our older sisters can impart on you can be life changing and life giving and life altering.
Absolutely.
Respect is something that you have to have, especially if you want to embody positive energy. You cannot neglect that as one species dies, there's another species that thrives off of them dying. And that's in nature.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as
Right.
people are aging, the wisdom that they can share with you limited if you have an energy that is repelling and pushing them away, or you just have convinced yourself that there is a war. That's a Willie Lynch thought. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because to
Huge
be whole
sense.
mind, body, and spirit, and to be a follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, you have to have balance. You have to
That's right.
understand that no monetary gain and no educational gain oversees or overrides the development that you allow yourself to have spiritually. So, in my opening, I know this is very long, but
No, that's
that is
beautiful.
what led me to it. By being motivated constantly and inspired by older women, yes, ma'am, to pursue
Right.
my dreams and my vision, and also by having a background spiritually, because at that time I was a pastor. I was a youth pastor when I was in my early 20s. This is right
Wow.
before I joined the Nation of Islam. So having a spiritual family and background, and also having people that were in the educational world that could give me motivation and inspiration, that is what allowed me to choose to walk the path of living a holistic lifestyle.
Wow, that's beautiful. Brother Sean, you have anything
Mhm.
to ask, sister, or to add? That's just, I'm taking all that in, what you just said. That's beautiful that you had. She was like an angel in your corner pushing you towards your purpose. That's beautiful.
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. Yeah. And
Yeah,
Yes.
still to
that's
this day, I want to add that to this
To this,
day,
yes.
mm.
she is in my life.
Wow. Awesome. Brother Sean, you have anything to
That's
ask?
beautiful right there. I thought you had some. I thought you had the questions lined up, sis.
I do. I want to
Oh, go
want you
ahead.
to
Go ahead.
chime in too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, what are your core principles of a holistic or healthy living that you live by, and some practical steps that you share or give to your clients?
Mm, that's a good question.
Okay, so you said what are some practical steps I give to my clients? The first
Yes, and what are
thing
your
I
core
always
principles?
reiterate to my clients is from day one. Yeah. So from day one, like the very first time I meet the client and we're having the first thing I stress to them is that I am not healing them. I am not
Right.
able to do anything for them. I am only being used,
A
and I am
facilitator.
being used to assist them on their
Mm,
healing journey because they
mm,
have to understand that this
wow.
is their divine
Right.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
intervention.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Them to look at me, somebody who has chosen a life of trying to help others heal. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that at this point, my testimony would probably be a reason why I know that they can heal themselves with the assistance of somebody who has asked to be used. Because I've prayed and I've asked and I constantly ask. And for me, I'm asking, Allah who came in the person of Master Far Muhammad, and I'm asking in the name of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for me to be a vessel that can help other people. And
Right.
I know when I was younger, I had what they call low iron anemia, sickle cell. And I don't have that today.
Mm.
You can't find it at all. You can't find a trace of that in my body. And when I was 17 is when I started steroids. And steroids, I don't know if most of you know how steroids work. They make you gain weight. So I went from weighing, after I had my son, I weighed like 115 pounds. So I went from being this little petite woman, right? Not too short, but small in size. And by the time I got finished taking the steroids, I was weighing like 300 and something pounds, And I joined the Nation of Islam. Now, mind you, I was in college learning about health, learning about wellness, but in the medical field, not in the holistic world. And I'm learning all this stuff and I'm trying to
Right.
see how it could apply to me because at this time I'm having all kind of pains because when you're overweight, you're in pain. It hurts. The inflammation hurts, your back hurts. I
Right.
mean, everything just hurts because you're inflamed. And mind you, if you're not eating properly, you don't know what to do. So I'm going to like one of the doctors I was studying under, he's telling me, yeah, just eat breakfast, eat 6 small meals a day. Like nothing, nobody never said anything like how to eat to live, you know.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
here it is. I'm a young woman, I'm overweight, and then I decide to eat to book one and book two. And I started immediately going to work. I mean, I think the first month, and I'm not lying, I lost 40 pounds the first month of following how to eat. People thought I was crazy,
Well, you speak for a lot.
because they were like, wow, how did you lose so much weight? And I was like, look, everywhere I went, I felt better. And I was showing my doctor, that's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast. You're going to shock your system. Your heart could give out, just being real discouraging. And he was overweight. So I told him, you need to read this book. It could help you. And that's
Right.
how adamant I was about it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm bringing this up because I want people to know no matter how much education I have in this world, nothing trumps the education that you get from the wisdom that's imparted in the teachings that compete with what God in the person of Master Muhammad came to teach us.
That's right.
As far as knowledge, because he studied every school of thought. He studied from the most elite, from the highest palaces and kingdoms. And then he made a compilation and he gave it to us. So no matter where you go and learn, there are pieces of the teachings in all of it where you'll bear witness, like, wow, I heard this before. It's in my supreme wisdom. It's in this.
Yes.
So I say at the end of the day, there was no university, there was no doctor, no nurse, there was no school of thought that ever was able to change my condition, but the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I bear witness. So because I have that, when I'm meeting with my clients, I go in with the mindset that they have to know that they can heal themselves. I don't want to make a whole bunch of money off of anybody. I
Hmm.
feel like with the gifts that I have, I'm always going to have. I'm always going to be provided for. But what I want each person to know that
Right.
the true wealth is your health. No money could ever keep you alive. But if you learn how to go
Hmm.
in that kitchen, food, if
Mm,
you learn how to go
mm,
out in nature and only
Yes,
consume
ma'am.
herbs that are going to preserve you, if you know how to go to the grocery store, and even though it's a death aisle, because everything on it is processed or synthesized or artificial, you still can find something good in there if you know
Right.
how
mm,
to look properly. So we
mhm.
can't teach our people, oh, just grow your own food, because ultimately that sounds good, but we do know that some soil is such poor quality that they can kill themselves. It has toxins in it. They're not checking the soil. Sometimes you need raised beds, and we could talk about that forever, but I do want to point that out for those of you who are watching this. Be very mindful, because sometimes when we start to get information, we want to run on it. We want to hit the field and go to work, but we have to be mindful. There's process, and that's why there are experts in every field. So talk to
Yes,
somebody in
ma'am.
agriculture, somebody in horticulture, somebody that can guide you into growing your own food, because you might plant in a yard and it might be detrimental to your health and you can't figure it out why all of a sudden you're having these symptoms and you're not feeling well every time you eat that lettuce. Because that lettuce was grown in some soil that wasn't for you to be consuming. So
It's
I
not
just want to
true.
stress that out, because whenever we start talking about food being medicine, that's the first thought. Well, let me get out there and grow my own food, which is brilliant. It's beautiful, but there are steps that you should take before you just grow your own food.
Yes, ma'am. Beautiful, beautiful. And you have a collection of recipe books, and they're all centered
Mhm.
on that navy, that mighty navy bean. So for those that are listening that don't know the benefits of the navy bean, are not in the nation, don't have how to eat to live, can you go into the benefits of that and what led you to create that collection of books,
Right.
recipe books centered on the navy bean?
Okay, so I was listening to the minister, which I love to do. And for those of you, when I say the I was listening to him and he said he was giving a lecture and he was talking about us consuming black beans and lentils. And he said, eat those when you have nothing else to do. Eat that wholesome navy bean because no other bean did he advise. And those are the words of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad in regards to the navy bean. He
Hmm.
said no other bean did he advise but that navy bean, that small
Right.
pink ones and brown ones. But if you think about it, it is our rebellion that would cause us to favor something that was not advised. So just because you can
Hmm.
eat it, why would you shun from what was advised? In
Right.
submission and obedience, if God said this is best, why not just go for what is best? I mean,
Mm.
obviously, God knows all. So I have to check myself all the time in that. So that's where the Navy Bean compilation began. I started writing those books 14 years ago. When I first came into the nation, literally, I was always cooking. So even when I was in Michigan at Muhammad Mosque number 1 on Sundays, I'm cooking. When the minister Farrakhan has Savior's Day, I'm cooking. I cooked. I've catered for Mother Khadija. I'm catering and cooking, and all of the recipes I was formulating were navy beans, and I was implementing them in my baked
Mm.
goods, my cakes, and for my catering business and my meal prep businesses. So I said, you know what? I can't possibly serve everyone, but if I have books where they can make this stuff too, then I feel like I contributed to my nation that I know saved my life because I know people right now who are
Mm.
suffering with sickle cell, low iron deficiency, sickle cell anemia, who have died at a young age or who are dying because going through the crises. And praise be to
Mm.
Allah, I have not had one of those in like 20 years.
Mhm.
Mm.
Praise
Praise
be
be
to
to
Allah.
Allah.
You
Yeah,
know, and I
praise,
know
praise
I
be
owe it
to
to the
yeah,
teachings
yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
of the most
Yes.
Yeah.
honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I mean, I don't want to spook anyone out. Yeah,
Uh,
forgive me if you get offended, but I will say angels are real. Now I'm gonna leave it
Oh
at
yeah.
that. But angels are real. And sometimes you have met one in the name of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I will say that we have to be mindful of how we treat people because of that.
yes.
And I know that talking about health and wellness, people just think it's this physical thing. It's physical, my food, my exercise, my diet, but I'm here to tell you that it's more spiritual than any of that. You can eat food that
Hmm.
isn't even good for you, but if you think you can override the molecules that's in that food that could
That's
cause
right.
you
Sweet
harm
sis.
because you had so much power
That's right.
that you allowed yourself to make that bad food sustain you won't die
Absolutely.
of hunger. And it's real. So it isn't much just about food because we're so caught up in spending all this excess money and all the salad would have sufficed. A salad with some hot onions and peppers on top would
Right.
have sufficed. So you don't have to spend an arm and a leg going to buy all of this extreme, ingredients and all of these imported goods to try to
Hmm.
have a healthy diet. It's
Hmm.
really those thoughts you're thinking, it's really the
Yeah.
actions you commit, because when you have a pure mind and a pure heart, you are always filtrating your system. like how we
Mm.
put the little Brit, what
Mm.
is it called? The Brita machine on our water faucet,
Yeah.
Yes.
and they
Yes,
filter the
ma'am.
water. That is what
That's
happens when you
powerful.
think good thoughts and your heart is pure. You're filtering out your body, and you have all this positive energy in you. Sickness can't live there. Sickness cannot dwell where God
Mm.
is alive. And you are God. I am
Come on.
God. So if we're alive
Yeah.
and
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
functioning and
That's powerful.
operating optimum level in a high frequency and we're positive, we don't have to food and herbs and supplements and going to see this guru and that guru. You become your own physician, like the Bible says, physician,
Yes.
heal
Heal thyself.
thyself.
Powerful. Yes, ma'am. That was some
Yes,
good teaching. Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
physician,
All
heal
praise be to
thyself.
Allah. Yeah.
Praise be to Allah. Um, one last question before we go. What role does mental and emotional well being play in healthy
Mm.
living, and what strategies do you recommend
yes,
for
ma'am.
someone? Could you hear me, sis?
Could you please repeat that, beloved?
What role does mental and emotional well being play in healthy living, and what strategies do you recommend?
Mm. That's a good question.
You kind of already answered it a little bit with the powerful
Mm.
thoughts and the positive thinking.
But no, that was, I mean, but that's a good question though, on itself. I mean,
Okay, so
yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe you said, what role does mental health play in
What role does mental and emotional well being play in healthy living? And what strategies would you recommend to someone? I think she froze.
Oh,
Mm.
mm,
Okay, here we go.
yes. Okay. I heard I heard enough of what you said to hear that you said, what role does mental
Mm.
well being play in our overall well being? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I wish I couldn't hear it all.
I'll repeat. You want me to repeat
Okay.
it?
So I would say that we have to learn how to, I think I can answer it.
Okay.
So I would say, I think that we need to learn to have spiritual discernment.
Mm.
And the reason why I say
Yeah.
that the answer for mental well-being, health and well-being, and spiritual health and well-being, and emotional health and well-being, and I tied those three together, is because you have to know spiritual warfare. You have to be spiritually capable of discerning energies that come off of
Mm,
people. Everybody
Mm.
doesn't operate
Mm.
from a good spiritual level that's going
that's
to
right.
bring well-being and health into our lives. Some people actually need help.
Yeah.
They need to be healed.
Yes.
So they come into your life, they cause drama, and it's not just
Hmm.
you. They have a history of it, and after you, they're going to leave some more bodies because there's one
Mm,
common thing that's not being taken into account. People are not discerning if this is good energy or if it's bad, because guess what? Sometimes if you're Muslim, they say assalamu alaikum. If you're Jewish or if you're any other religion, they speak your language, they speak
Hmm.
your religion. They know what you
Mhm.
believe. So you overlook the fact that this might be hazardous to my health, my
Yeah, yeah,
reputation,
yeah,
and
yeah.
my mental well being and my emotional well being. Yeah. So they like what you do. They like that you write books. They like that you're an author, a doctor,
Mhm.
a aromatherapist, a, a massage therapist, a nurse, a dietitian, a
Mhm.
nutrition, a student minister, a captain, a lieutenant, a firefighter, a police officer, a yoga instructor, just whatever it is that you're doing, because you're doing something that they might themselves want to do. So they
Mhm.
look up to you for a spell,
Mhm.
for a spell. They give you words of motivation and encouragement. But before you know it, because oftentimes people that are doing something are the ones that are being attacked. It's not people sitting around doing nothing. It's people that are on the
Right.
forefront, actually living out their dreams, or actually striving to be inspiration and motivation for those that say they want to be in that field or want to be healed if you're a healer.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
turning on that spiritual discernment would have you avoiding certain people. And the minute you don't avoid those people, boom. What you knew was
Mm.
going to happen
Yeah,
happens and
Yeah.
is even worse.
Right.
So
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say
yeah.
protect yourself.
Yes. Guard your spirit.
Yes,
Protect yourself.
yes, yes.
And start inquiring, why do I have this person in my life? We're the only citizen, we wouldn't have no problems, but that's impossible. There's never going to be a time where I'm on the island of eminence and I'm the only citizen. There's
Right.
never going to be a time where you're on the island of Sister Denise and you're the only citizen. Never going to be a time
Right.
where Brother Sean is on Sean's island and he's the only citizen. Never going to be a
Right.
time where you're on the island of Eminence and you're the only citizen. Factor that's always activated the last thing you need is distractions.
Mhm.
The
Yes,
last thing you
ma'am.
Mhm.
need is someone trying to befriend you with the ill intent of destroying you, but you're and that is what happens to us a lot of the time. So to have emotional well-being is to choose people that are in your life and classify them properly. Determine if this person is going to be a patient, a client, or a friend. You do not take people who need help psychologically and mentally, you do not take them on as a friend. This is an individual that needs your help. Whatever you
Mhm.
do,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
keep the boundaries in place. This is somebody, a client, and needs to stay right there. Even if you're just a brother or a sister and you're not in no kind of holistic field or medical field, there are some people that come in your life that you are to help them, and that's it. They might tell you about their
Yeah.
problems, their issues, their situations, but that's it. Be a good sister or brother. Everybody is not meant to be your comrade, your friend. Some people, literally, you are to be like an angel to them, help them, give them words of wisdom, encouragement,
Mhm.
guide them on the straight path, and keep moving. Because what
Right.
happens is when trouble, people are able to,
Mhm.
they end up going from savior to savior, and now demonizing these people, creating armies against these people that only wanted the best for them. ask me how I know, I've lived it over and over and over again. And that's why I say with conviction before you that you have got to stand on principles, and you've got to stand in the resolve that I want to be Master Fard Muhammad. He came to make
Right.
us into himself. So
Yourself.
by doing so, I have to have spiritual discernment to know this person needs my help. Don't gossip with that person. Gossip is what's going to kill everybody emotionally.
Mm.
People might come in your life and want to tell you they were done wrong by this person, they were done wrong by that person. You got to know how to turn that off and get
Mm.
them
Yes.
out of that mindset that they must destroy people verbally. That is abuse. That is a form of abuse, and you are not created to listen to filth being poured inside of you. Your ears
Right. Vomit.
not
Vomiting in your ear.
Exactly.
created to allow all of the garbage and all of the drama of other people's lives to corrupt and infiltrate you.
Mm.
You can't
Exactly.
help a person when you're now a partaker of the filth.
Yes.
It
Exactly.
can't happen when
Exactly.
you're gossiping, when you're talking and backbiting. You're not a savior when you allow yourself to be pulled into that, because what that person
Right.
had going on with someone else has nothing to
Nothing
do
to
with
do
it.
with you.
What we are supposed to
No.
do is say, listen, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but what
But
is it that you can do with your life that'll make you happy? Let's change the whole
exactly.
subject. And that to
Change
me is how
the
we create the world we want to live in, because I
right.
don't want to be around people who are always whining and complaining. I got my own problems, and I'm
Exactly.
not saying that I won't go
Exactly.
through problems and
You're
go through
right.
problems,
Exactly.
but hey, to know that there's somebody I could call that'll say, sit there and have a good time. Not, what did she say? Oh my goodness, no,
Mm.
she didn't. And she be playing holy. That is not how righteous people behave.
Right.
Exactly.
That's not right. There's nothing righteous about wanting to know someone else's filth.
Mhm. Mhm.
That is a
Exactly.
part
Exactly.
of us that has
No.
to die in order to truly heal. Who are you healing?
Mm.
When you're
Come on,
ingesting
man.
poison
Come
in
on.
your ears because you want to hear filth and you want to hear gossip about somebody else. So to me, the
Right.
start of healing ourselves and having emotional well-being, mental well-being, and being completely whole
Mhm.
holistically, because that's what holistic means. In every facet of your life,
Mm.
having balance and being healthy. So in order to do that, you have to be
Right.
able to expel and block out all negativity, not some. You can't be a person that, oh, I dislike this, I dislike that, but bring me the gossip. You can't, that
Right.
is not holistic. That is not a healer. And you will have people that don't want to be around you because you don't want to hear filth. You don't indulge in gossip. You don't want to, do stuff contrary to what it is that you say you
Right.
believe. When you want to be on the up and up, you might have people that want nothing to do with you because they don't like to be in the light of the
Right.
sun. But you, as a savior, have to represent that. And as a healer, you have got to speak life into other people to be a healer, or you're really not a healer.
That's right.
You are aspiring to be one. But true health and wellness comes from submitting to a divinity. You can't be like the average Joe at that point because you have
That's
said that you are this. So now you have to live up to this. Don't let anybody knock you off of your calling and your purpose, especially
right.
not with filth. What is the use of telling somebody don't eat pork or don't eat a bunch of fried foods, but gossip with you? Tell me
Exactly.
how that, makes any sense.
Exactly. That's
So it's the
totally
little stuff that having discernment, am, and whatever your name is, and I am aspiring, or I am a healer, or I am a practitioner, or I am a believer. Just a believer alone shouldn't be indulging. You don't have to have any titles. Just say you a
right.
sister and a brother. What do you think is going to happen once we indulge in unhealthy acts? Because we love to talk about food being health. We love to talk about meditating and yoga, but what about those detrimental acts that we commit that are destroying our health, both physically and mentally, and then thirdly, spiritually? Indulging in
Absolutely.
gossip destroys all of that and leaves
Yes.
the people in a disparity because they afterwards say, well, if that is a person that's supposed to be a healer or a sister or a brother or a Muslim or a Christian, whatever your persuasion is, if they're operating like that, then there's no hope for the rest of us.
Mm.
There's no hope for
Right.
the rest of us if those who claim to be our leaders, our healers, our holistic
Exactly.
providers, if they are operating on such a low frequency and vibration, there's no hope for us. So we have to be mindful of what we indulge in. It's not just about food, it's just not about
Right.
that. It's about our day to day life. When you go to heal somebody, the way you're living is going to come out. Who
Yes.
wants you working on them? You're a filthy person. And filthy, you might take a bath, you might perfume yourself, cologne
Right.
yourself,
But
but filthy in your
you're
thinking and
thinking,
your actions. You have
right.
to clean up.
Yes. And that reminds me of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says in How to Eat to Live. We kill ourselves daily by the way we think, by the way we eat, and by the way we drink. And that's not just physical food, that's spiritually, that's what we look at, what we intake. So, yeah, when you were saying that, it reminded me of that. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we are at the top of the hour. Dr. Eminence, I appreciate you, and we were so excited to have you on. We definitely got to have you back because I want to have a question and answer from our audience as well. So, thank you for coming on. Any last words or anything that you want to share that you have coming up or going on? I think we lost Brother Sean. Can you hear me?
I can
You
hear you
can't hear me?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, where
Any
did
last words?
he go?
Yeah, Brother Sean, I think his line got disconnected. Um, so he's not on with us. But we're gonna close it out. And we appreciate you all, Brother Kente, Brother
Yes,
Kelvin,
ma'am.
Brother Mark, everybody that tuned in with us. You watch this on the replay, definitely share this out. But yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
closing words? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for
Ar-Rahman
coming on.
Ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Malik Yawm.
Okay. I'm sorry I couldn't hear you, but thank you for that prayer. And until next time, we will be back on next Thursday for the Health and Wellness Power Hour. And thank you, Sister Dr. Eminence, for taking time out to come on and share with us. Assalamu alaikum.